What's up, everybody? What up? What up? What up? What up?
That's the best I got today.
It's episode 35 of the Dream Lab podcast, y'all. It's your Captain Dre Perry here at the Dream Lab podcast. I got Rev Kev in the building. We are here. Chrissy B isn't with us today. She is not feeling the best. She's under the weather, but we're praying for her.
In her seat.
Yeah, you are. How does that feel?
I just miss my friend.
We may give her a call on this episode. May not. I think she's sleeping.
That'll be hilarious. We're definitely got to call her at the end.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the Dream Lab podcast, you know, the safe space for dreamers where we want you to dream, but we want to encourage you to make those dreams a reality.
Absolutely.
We can't just sit on our dreams. You know, you can dream all you want, but what is it that you're doing, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's really kind of been my, I guess, really biggest conviction. Mm-hmm. If we want to be honest, like, I found myself like, oh, I could do this, I can do that. And then if I want to be honest, since we here, you are one of those people that kind of like got me to snap out of it without knowing it, without saying it. I was seeing what you were doing, and I'm like, Kev is out here like, and I don't know hater shit. Like, I was really seeing you like, he's singing behind this person, he on the road, and he doing this, and he working in the studio, and da. And I mean, obviously, there, you know, everything that glitters ain't gold. I know you have your moments.
Okay.
I understand, but at the same time,
yeah,
I was seeing that you were doing stuff that I wanted to do, and where most people would hate and try to sabotage or whatever the case was. That's when you got to look at yourself and like, all right, what am I doing? Like, what could I be doing? And then I guess being around you, I kind of see it like, you know, oh, I'm in the studio, oh, I'm working, oh, I got to leave and do this. And I'm like, okay, you're not really putting the work in for real. Like, you think you are, but you not. And that's why, you know, this stuff isn't happening for you. Like, you got to just make it happen for yourself.
Yeah, it's a doggy dog world out here for sure.
It's a what?
A doggy dog world. It's just sometimes, really, I'm understanding, like, it's just right time, right place. Right time, right place. And like you said, it's everything that glitters isn't gold. But
if you're working, then you at least in the place for it's a possibility that this could be the right time. You see what I'm saying? But some people are waiting for the shit to fall in their lap at home.
But the thing is, no. Never at home. But the thing is,
this nigga is never at home.
Never. With that, where's Kevin thing that I came up with is a real life question. It actually came from people always asking my mom, where's Kevin at? Where's Kevin? Where's Kevin? And I was like, oh, I'm using that. Where's Kevin? It's just going to be a whole.
Because you never know.
Franchise within itself. But, I mean, you know, I being nice has really gotten me into a lot of these opportunities. Like when I did the Big Sean thing, which we're still waiting on it to come on Amazon Prime, but the album did come out. That was really based on me being consistent. I will always see Deshaun, who's over the urban orchestra, and I will always be nice to him. And like Deshaun is really crazy. Like if you ever get a chance to work with him and talk with him, you're gonna be like, "Are you nuts?" Because he says anything, but he's.
I'm all for that.
He's really dope, though.
I'm all for saying whatever.
Yeah, Deshaun's gonna do it, and he just so happened. He remembered me from the stuff that we did at GI and with Kiera, and I think the first time he heard me sing was. We did an event outside. Arnesia did like one of her Jamie Jams outside at the Michigan Central building. And I did That's What I Like. And I had the whole like outside rock. And he was like, bro, I didn't know that you did stuff outside of gospel. So I'm saying that to say, showing up, being nice, and being 100% yourself has gotten me where I am. I don't care what room I'm in. I'm never dummying myself down to be anything but me because it just don't work like that for me.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work, bro. That was my biggest issue too, like musically, and that's why I kind of made the shift that I made musically because so many people were starting to know me for the group and for gospel music,
which was a great run, by the way.
Absolutely.
Not that it's over, but it was a great startup.
It was like I ain't gonna say it was a phase because we don't like the word phase, but in a way we all go through phases and we all go through something, and so. I guess I was always a musician. I was always a singer-songwriter. And then I started getting in church heavy, right? And when you're in church, it's kind of like, oh, well, this is what you need to be doing. You know, it's kind of, you know how that goes. And so everything started to shift. I'm like, oh, well, I'm leading praise and worship. I play in church. I'm here every week. I lead the youth choir. So I might as well do a gospel project or start doing gospel music. And then you feel like this is the right thing to do. So I remember I was working with a guy in the studio. We were actually working on some R&B like tracks, like, you know, some pop tracks, like, you know, just really just exploring some stuff. And I did one session, and the song was very, very good. Very, very good. Shout out to Paul. We still friends on Facebook.
So Paul.
He is my godmother's cousin. And so we were working in the studio, and then it was just like this thing was I was just like, well, I'm thinking I may want to kind of do a gospel route. And he's not a Christian. He actually, I think he's Muslim. But
Dope.
so it was like he was kind of like, wait, what? And then, you know, I think that he saw that I wasn't sure what I wanted to do yet.
Do you feel like you were influenced though by where
absolutely.
you were? Okay. Good.
Absolutely.
Okay, now do you have any regrets about that?
So I've learned not to. I've learned to look at things. Everything happens for a reason. Like, had I not gone to gospel road, I never would have met you.
Yeah, and you did help a whole entire generation of our city to really just like
do it by yourself. Like when we started, a lot of people weren't releasing their own singles. Like they felt like they had to go to the studio, and I was just like, nigga, I've always had like a studio in my basement, so I was like, I can make these songs myself.
You can move mountains. You can,
and that was one of the first ones, bro. And everybody was calling us to come sing that song, and I'm just, bro, that junk, low key, that was a really good song.
Yeah.
But it was like I was making it me, but it was just like I didn't feel like I could be myself completely. Because I didn't want to just, you know, sing about God. And there's nothing wrong with singing about God. There's nothing wrong with God. It's just that me as an artist, I knew there was more. I wanted to write about experiences. I wanted to sing about experiences, all of that stuff. And I know that had I put a gospel album out and then my next album was more of an R&B route, people would have been confused. And I know that there is a...
yeah, that's like McDonald's selling tacos.
You see what I'm saying?
Not that they can't sell tacos. It's just that they're known for this thing.
Exactly.
It's a culture shock. Like,
and we know how the gospel community is. A McBurrito?
McBurrito.
But
I mean, they do got burritos, but I get what you're saying. But I get what you're saying. Period. I'm glad. I'm sorry. Did I cut you off, bro?
I mean, we were just kind of talking. I don't even know what I was getting ready to say. I think it was more so just I know that I wanted to be myself, because you mentioned being yourself, showing up in rooms as yourself.
Yeah.
And I was tired of showing up as somebody else. I was tired of, like, even some of the stuff that we were singing on, bro. Like, I would show up and I'm just like, this ain't even like my vibe. Like, everybody's so falling out and crying on the altar, and I'm just like, that ain't even where I am right now.
But that was the best part about experiencing the group for the first time, which was at Great Emmanuel at that musical that we both were on. And me and you didn't sing anything that was like what everybody else did. Like the choir got up, they was churchy.
Yeah.
It was other praise and worship teams, other soloists that got up, and you got up and did your single. And did y'all do All We Want?
We did More Than Able, All We Want. Yeah, and that was the first time we had ever sang All We Want, so I was nervous as
and it
hell.
Went over very good.
I already knew this GEI, like, you know, like the people, like they some singers over here, you know what I'm saying? So I was very nervous, and we went up there, and I remembered the response. So a part of me is glad that I got a chance to experience that, because I learned a lot. I mean, those were my first concerts that I did.
Was that your first gig? No,
we had did a couple different events leading up to that.
But that was like your first one. Well, I know for me that was the first time I ever met y'all.
That was 2015. That was right before we dropped the project, because
I sang at the album release.
You sang at the album release.
Crazy.
So that was 2015. We started in 2014. So I had some songs. We did some engagements or whatever.
I may still have the CD. I'm gonna see if I got it. It was black. It was white and it was blue.
Yep.
And the picture of y'all were on the album, on the actual hard copy.
And it was crazy, bro. I did everything. Like, I recorded it. I mixed it to the best of my ability, which, I mean, was trash. But I wrote the songs. I vocal produced everybody. I did the album work. I printed off the labels and put them on every CD. I put it in a duplicator, and we had all of our CDs. And the thing is, I didn't really know any other way. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have a whole lot of money to be paying nobody to do it. So it was, I think that all of it, going back to your question of the regrets, I really think necessary. Like,
Absolutely.
I got a chance to meet people and learn to do certain things. I've learned how to pivot. In church, that is the best way to learn how to truly pivot, because things don't always go your way. Sometimes you got to go a different route and flow this way. And church allowed me to see that. And so I think, had I been in the studio and then just trying to go straight to the stage and doing these performances, I mean, I probably still would have learned some stuff, but church gave me that weekly. Yeah. Because we literally singing weekly. We're playing weekly. So a lot of that stage presence, I mean, I had, but I really got a chance to polish it and really work on it in church with the group and having those concerts. I think just the hardest thing now is, and it's not hard, it's just that in my mind, like we was doing concerts, we had 300-400 people coming. And now I know, not saying that I can't get that, but I know with that pivot, some people going to fall off because they not with the new. I
don't think that your audience will, to be totally honest with you, because I think that your audience has a great buy-in to what you do. I do understand that it will be drastic. For some people, it'll be drastic because it's not.
So not so much for my audience, but for the people who know me, because there's a difference. It's some people that really rock with you, and then there's people that just kind of like see what you're doing, and then they'll like it until you do something they don't like. You can tell those people weren't really with you from the beginning.
And the thing is, they'll be fine. Is because at the end of the day, they're probably just. One thing I think you always say is, like, sometimes when people don't like something about you, is because they don't like them about themselves. And that can be the case. You're just mad because I took a chance and did something and you didn't.
Yeah. And a lot of times that's what it is, bro. So it's me learning that, because even though we know that, you still feel it. You still feel it when people don't like, So and a part of me, because I was so much of a people pleaser. So that part sometimes would be difficult, because it's like, I already know, like, they probably ain't gonna rock with this. They probably like, oh, you need it, just all of these inside conversations that I'm having.
Well, how do you silence that? Because I'll say, for me, one of the biggest things that I learned was from Trista Callahan, Larry Callahan's wife. When I did the pop-up concert at the D-Loft.
Yes.
I was so concerned, like, nobody's gonna come, nobody's gonna show up. And she told me, she said, stop. She said, you're so worried about who's not going to come that you're forgetting the people who are actually going to come because they love you. And ever since she said that to me, my mindset shifted where, I don't care who doesn't come. I only care about who's going to make it, who's going to have a good time, whose life am I going to impact in that moment, who's going to leave with something, versus it being, oh my God, such and such didn't show. Because, I mean, of course, we always feel like that sometimes when it's like people that we love or we're close to or that we support.
Right.
But I think I've gotten to the point now from reading books. I read a book, How to Make It in the Music Industry. That book changed my whole trajectory when it comes to like venues and different stuff like that, and just working your way up. So a lot of that stuff doesn't really impress me anymore. Like, love is what love does. But at the end of the day, I know that there is a certain epidemic of people that I am called to work with, or I'm called to sing to. If you look up the zip code for wherever you live at, it's probably 20,000 people in that area. Can I impact my neighborhood first?
That's
or
what
how
I'm saying.
Do you work to do that?
We back to your point of paying attention to those people who don't show up or who don't like it. I think that's the best way to silence it, is to continue to remind yourself, continue to look at the people that are like, hey, I really like this. And also, for me, is to relinquish the control. Because a lot of times we feel like we try to control the situation, and because in your mind, these people showed up. But here's the thing, your audience, you don't know what they look like. They're there, but you don't know what they look like.
Yeah.
And so our job isn't to go off of what they look like, because now you leaving people out. So it's not about the people, it's about you. You see what I'm saying? But if you get back to the people and you just do it for the people that really rock with it, these people may not be the people that you used to being around or you're used to seeing. But these are the people that's like, hey, I'm with that. Like, there are some people that started following me because of Dre Perry in the group. And now they watch the podcast and they with what we do. They can't wait for the new music. So shout out to them. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? But
the real homies.
That's what I'm saying. I had to change. And I not just have to, but I'm still doing it because it's still fresh for me, you know. And
I think you're doing a good job too, bro. Like, the thing is, taking a chance and doing what you really want to do is not easy. Let me be factual. Yeah. It's not up anymore because I didn't pay for my subscription with United Masters. But when I released my R&B EP Issues, that was probably the greatest thing that I've ever did. That was because I fought a long time and went back and forth on, oh my God, what is the church going to think about me that I'm releasing the R&B EP? What is this pastor going to say because I'm a minister and I'm the minister of music? Whoop-de-whoop. Now, the EP didn't have no cussing on it. Or maybe I said one bad word.
You said damn.
I think that was it. But other than that, it was a great body of work where I was able to pour my heart out in a different way that satisfied me, because that's when I really felt like I wasn't put in a box. When I put R&B records on wax, I finally felt like, okay, now you're becoming an artist because you actually got over the fear of what people think. So even with like the music that you're working on, bro, I will say, because I know you were saying, I think, and I don't want to misquote you, I think you were just saying like really focusing in on doing it for the people that you know will support.
I don't even mean that. I didn't mean that. I know where you're going, but go ahead. Continue.
But with that, make sure that you're the top priority.
Absolutely. Because you have to be.
What I heard today sounds like your heart's song.
And that's what I had to get back to. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was in these rooms and writing songs, bro, and it was like, that's why I went through that writer's block, because I was literally writing stuff and then judging it so harshly because, oh, this don't sound like such and such, or this wouldn't fit in the gospel music, or people not gonna understand it this way, or this a little too old school, or this a little too Stevie Wonder-ish to. No, nigga, who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you? Do that.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, you don't have to think. It's literally, it oozes out of you. Nigga, when I decided that I wasn't gonna judge this music and just write that License to Fly song that I sent you, that's the name of the project, bro, I didn't write that as a serious song. I was just playing around and I was just like, oh, that's kind of catchy, it's kind of fun, and then that was it. Until I was playing more and more with it, I'm like, no, this could be something. And then I found myself writing what was going on in my heart, like it was just me spilling out, and I was just like, this is what it's all about. Yeah,
at the end of the day.
Because at the end of the day, when you try to do stuff like other people, you're dependent on those people to do something. So you're dependent on their sound so you can build and do something and replicate something like that. Versus, hey, this is what's in my heart and I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And so once I stopped judging my work like that, as I said before, like, you can write something, that doesn't mean you have to record it, doesn't mean anybody has to hear it, but get it out. Because we're so, we'll be backed up with all of these ideas, but we don't let it out because we're judging it. And so that was my biggest thing. And once I stopped doing that, bro, the songs were just coming out. These ideas were coming out, and
because they're really good.
I appreciate it, bro. I'm so excited to put it out.
I walked in the house like, it took me a couple weeks to finally listen, but nigga, this is some good stuff.
I forgot I sent it to you.
Yes, no, I have to do better with that because I have somebody else who has sent me their music and want me to listen to it.
But you're also an artist, so I know you gotta I don't.
Yeah,
but
y'all still listen to my stuff when I send it to y'all, so I gotta like.
I don't always listen to it immediately.
I'm weak. But you'll at least text me back like within a day or a couple hours and be like, bro, this is dope.
I mean, but I know if I would have been like, hey, bro, did you listen to it? You probably would have listened to it right then.
But I needed to hear it today. And I had a clear mindset while driving where I was like, oh, okay. And then my imagination was able to run like, yeah, I could see him doing this live and I can actually imagine this being finished.
Yeah, bro. It's coming incredible. Out this year. Like, I'm not waiting no more. I'm literally putting it out because I truly believe. And even if I'm just putting it out because somebody need to hear it. It's a message in it. Even if it's just a feeling. Somebody need the feeling.
Yeah. And that's what I got from it. Was like, nah, I will put these on repeat. And not just because we friends, but that when I came in and made reference to like, this reminds me of.
Yeah.
that's the type of music I like to listen to.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the other crazy thing. I don't know why, but when I tell people like some of the artists I listen to, they be like, huh? Mm-hmm. Like the fact that Anita Wilson is my favorite gospel artist, a lot of people be like,
they don't see it. They don't understand it.
Because even though I can sing high and I can do the runs, I love Anita Wilson's tone.
Velvet.
Viva. Velveeta Velvet.
Velveeta Velvet.
I'm more of a texture type of singer. Like
Yeah.
I love Marette Brown Clark because again, it's not about the runs. Her execution and her placement is impeccable.
Yeah.
Now I do got some of the singers that I love that can run, but if I'm in like one of those moods, like I said, I'm gonna play me some Mickey Miller.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play Mickey Miller every time it's time to travel. Because her music just takes me to like a different time and space. Like, and I can still listen to her stuff now, like it just came out, and it is still just.
Yeah, and that's
me.
what I want. That's the music that raised me, bro. So I just the project for me is definitely resembling a lot of the music that raised me, because it's who I am. Like, why change that for anybody? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if the people who were there that liked the first stuff, some people are not gonna like this, but some people will like it. It's gonna be some people that didn't like the first that's gonna like this. You know what I'm saying? So
I think your audience is gonna enjoy it.
And
I think your gospel audience is. Really
I'm okay with because
it.
it's nothing crazy. I ain't on there talking
It's
about
not.
these hoes and I ain't
But y'all,
doing that.
it's not finished. But the rough dummy tracks that he sent, you can literally. I mean, I don't really know how to explain it. You like creatively, it just felt like it took you to a different place. That's how I knew these are gonna be quality records because my imagination started to run like. Oh, I can see this live, or I can see like when this is done, whatever he adds to this live instruments, this is going to eat where I'm going to want to listen to this driving to Belle Isle or a nice night under the stars. I would want to play both of those songs. Like, and I promise you, I'm not just saying that. You can feel the creativity coming from it. But again, that's what makes everything so authentic.
Yeah, and that's, again, back to your point, that authenticity. And once I saw that in you, and you were just like, I don't know, I want to do it like this. And then not only that, but you showing up. Those were the two things that I was just like, I need to start showing up for myself, doing what I need to do, put the work in. And then not only that, but show up as myself.
Yeah. And you deserve it, bro. I feel like in the times past, I know that all of the music that you wrote for the group and for other artists, I know you wrote for Shemaya. Who else did you write for?
You.
Yeah, you wrote the opening song on my record. And just like the features that we had on the album, like just how you heard people's voices that, when you did Call on the Name of the Lord and Aaliyah sung it. Like, I feel like you've made a lot of sacrifices for other people that now this is a record or a body of work that you get to make for you.
Because if I can be honest, the reason why I started the group is because I wasn't confident in myself. So I'm
scared as hell to see what your confidence is going to produce.
I got other people to sing the lead. You see what I'm saying? So I can Kirk Franklin it. So you see what I'm saying? Like, I know that if I went up there and bombed, it's embarrassing. But if I can go up there with a group of people and people don't really feel it, well, we went out as a team. You see what I'm saying? Like, it was more so just me.
A team effort.
Yeah. So that's why I started with the group. And again, for a lot of people that, people still asking like, so what's gonna happen with the group? I don't know. I have no idea.
We're not discontinued. We're just on different paths. Like,
it is what it is. Like, if I never do another group record, if I never do another group concert, it's just what it is. But I may. Who knows? It's just really what
I think you will. But I just know that it'll be a different Draylen. And the thing is, the beautiful part about it is, the people have to continue to give you your space. I'm gonna just say it like that. You gotta give Draylen or any other person out there that you admire their space to grow and to discover the way of life that they're experiencing now. Like the last group concert we did, the baby wasn't here.
Yeah. Both of my grandparents were still alive.
You experienced death.
Yeah.
Like, you've evolved as a person from a brother perspective. You've evolved spiritually. You've evolved mentally. There is going to be a time that the group comes back, but it won't be the same.
It can't be.
It can't be, because you're not the same. So it'd be like, what the hell? I would literally sit in group rehearsal like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why? What are you doing? What are you doing?
But that's very true, bro. Like I think just with the growth, I think with anybody, it takes you to another place. And I gave myself the permission to go ahead and do that. You know,
good.
So I'm excited about the new music. I'm excited. I'm just excited about everything because this year I was like, I'm gonna do it. Like I'm just gonna do it. Like we got the live show coming March 29th. Make sure you get your tickets. Get your tickets. We just confirmed. Well, almost confirmed the third guest. So
we got some heavy hitters coming too,
yeah.
y'all. This live show is gonna be so Detroit.
Very much so.
It's gonna be so Detroit,
but it's gonna
bro.
be so good. Like I feel like we have some really good conversations, and I think we don't have enough of these types of conversations. Like we'll talk about all of the other stuff, but we don't really like talk about how we're able to again make those dreams a reality. Like that's really like that's what I want to talk about heavy for the live show. And so I'm like, I'm just going for it. Like you don't need nobody's permission. I feel like when you did your live recording, I was talking to Craig and he was just like, man, I commend y'all for just doing it. Like you weren't waiting on nobody. Y'all just did it. Y'all are like, we're just going to do it like this and just go for it. And that is what I really want to encourage everybody to do is just go for it, to be yourself, to show up as yourself. And the thing is, if you show up as yourself, those people who are really there for you will show up. That's the least of your worries.
Yeah.
That's the least of your worries. Just show up, be yourself. So Kev, I know that was a hell of an intro.
I thought that was the episode.
you have some stuff to talk about.
Well, y'all know I have the Rev Kev News. I don't know, I rename it every week. I just rename it every week. I think I'm gonna stick with Rev Kev News. That's fair. Okay, so y'all, one thing, after Beyonce pausing her announcement on January 14th, on February 1st, 2025, 12 midnight, she announced that the Cowboy Carter tour is coming.
Are you excited about that?
I'm nervous. It's a good nervous, though.
Yeah.
I guess I am excited, but more so nervous because this is such a moment from a fan perspective. Now, I am a beehiver, but I'm not like y'all. Like, I'm not doing all of that arguing for somebody who don't even know me. I'm not doing that. But I am excited because from an artistry perspective and a creative perspective, I love the way Beyonce thinks. So I'm curious to see what this is going to look like compared to Renaissance. Like Renaissance, I could visualize the tour because it was such a big dance record. I just knew like she's about to eat us alive. Where Cowboy Carter feels a little more intimate with some things, especially with the writing. So I'm interested to see how.
So do you think she's going to do smaller venues?
Oh no, she's going to be in the stadiums. If she does a smaller venue, I would be very. I can't imagine Beyonce going back to arenas. Wait, stadiums. She's in stadiums, right?
Right, stadiums, arenas, same thing, but more so like theaters or because even think about this. Let's like if she did a residency or something like that. That's a smaller venue. Like that's not going to be as big as a stadium.
Yeah, but that's still going to be cool because at least being in that one spot, she's going to sell out immediately.
That's very true.
But
so
Beyonce going into smaller venues, for one, I don't think that she would do that to her fan base because it's so big. She would have to stay like a week at a time.
Very true. She had to do multiple shows in the city.
She would have to stay a week at a time in every state.
Unless she didn't care and just did one. But I get what
I
get what you're saying.
She could.
I get what you're saying totally. I just think for that album, because the album is more intimate than that Renaissance project. So I'm interested to see. I don't know because I've never been to a Beyonce concert, so I wouldn't want that to be my first. I
honestly would want it to be your first.
Really?
Because I don't think that it would be like any other Beyonce concert, so you would get a fresher experience.
I don't know. I want to see with the little skirt. I want her to dance. I want all of that.
She's definitely going to do all of that. Well, that's the other exciting part for me is to see how she's going to infuse all of that with this country sound, which is why I'm so intrigued. Like,
so you think she going to give us some country versions of some stuff?
Absolutely. Because she did that. She did that kind of sort of with Renaissance, where the music just continuously flowed. So I am interested to see how she mixes and infuses everything
that would
together.
Be interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
She thinks differently, and just to imagine, I know this heifer been planning this tour and been in rehearsal already.
Oh yeah,
If not, the show is probably completely mapped out at this point.
absolutely.
Staging, lighting. I'm so intrigued.
So you think it's gonna be summer?
Absolutely, it's probably going to start in March. March, April is when she's probably going to start.
Okay.
That's typically how she does it, and then she'll probably end by September, October.
When are tickets?
I have no idea. She just announced it. She didn't really give us.
As long as she don't come to Detroit on March 29th.
Nah, she not gonna hit us to the summertime. It's always hot because Beyonce's gonna do the European side first, and then she's gonna start making her way around.
She does European leg first.
Yep, and that probably takes about a month.
Okay.
Because she'll typically do 2 days in some of those because she makes a lot of money over there.
Oh yeah, over there is different. It's
and
different
then
over
she'll
there.
come down. And some states she does 2 nights, but Detroit shouldn't do one.
Got you. Okay.
But I don't think I would go and see it in here.
You will go to another state?
Yeah, because I'm definitely gonna have a costume that I'm not wearing in the city. Look at that horse. Look at that horse.
How many Beyonce concerts have you been to?
All of them but 2.
So how many is that? He said it like we knew.
Okay, I went to the Ladies First tour, which was for Dangerously in Love. That was featuring Missy Elliott and Alicia Keys.
Oh, you went back.
Yeah, I have the picture of that.
Okay.
I had an airbrush.
Was that like 2004?
Yep, probably. I have a airbrush T-shirt picture of it. Okay. Okay, let's go back. I've been to the Dangerously in Love Ladies First tour. I missed the B-Day album one. I went to Mrs. Carter. No, I missed 2. Okay, only tours I've ever missed was On the Run 1 and the B-Day. Oh, the Beyonce Experience I didn't go to.
So you've been to like 4 concerts?
On the Run 2, Formation, Mrs. Carter. Wait, On the Run 2, Formation, Mrs. Carter, Renaissance. I feel like I'm missing something.
So like 4 or 5 concerts.
Yeah, probably 4 or 5 because she ain't really. She did one for every album. She
Right.
didn't. But she didn't do a big one for 4 though. So that's what it is because she was pregnant with Blue. So that was more so her doing like the DVDs and the residencies.
Gotcha.
So I've been to every album but the B-Day one.
So I know that it would be an incredible concert. I've as a Michael Jackson fan, I wish that I could have been around in the 80s to see him do like when he was in his prime.
Yeah.
So I already know somebody like Beyonce is going to bring that type of energy. Like that's the type of stuff that I love big shows. I love just performance. I love stage. Like I love it. And so I think it'd be incredible. I didn't really listen to the Cowboy Carter project.
It was cool. I liked it. I was like,
and to hear a Beyonce fan say it was cool, I was like, no, I'm okay.
Yeah, because it was such a different project from Renaissance. But I still respected it because the heifer is singing, number 1. Number 2, it was just so different for her that it took time to get used to. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't really like Renaissance until I did a gig with Simone Vitale, the band that I was in, and we did the disco. We had a disco medley. For some reason, after the disco medley, it clicked.
Yeah.
So when I got back in the car, I was like, oh no, I really messed with this record. Like I get where she going. And especially it was a huge.
Do you think because it was a new sound from her that it didn't click with you immediately?
Yeah, because Lemonade didn't click with me immediately.
Really?
Because Lemonade was such a different project of her doing storytelling musically. It was
that
just,
the Nastier project?
No, that was Beyonce. That was the one she dropped without no promotion. It was just like surprise.
I remember that.
That was a good project though. That was the Mrs. Carter tour project.
Got you.
But Renaissance, it was such a big thing for the LGBT community as well that it has revolutionized the entire project. Like Beyonce shined a huge light on the whole scene
because of the house music and all of that stuff.
But she did it in such a way that it was just like it was smart. But they're saying that the Adidas collection that she put out was all in line with each album. Each album was supposed to come out earlier, but the pandemic hit, which makes sense because the girl gave up these explanations. The first one that she did was more so silver and metallics. That was supposed to like represent Renaissance. The second line of Adidas stuff that she dropped, I don't know if you remember, it was her in stables. Like they were taking pictures in stables on top of.
I did not remember that.
Yes, on top of haystacks. The last one she released was like a black leather rock and roll, like Run DMC.
That's why everybody
type.
kept saying this rock project. But
I do believe it. I do believe it because the girl, her assumptions or her accusations did line up where it would have made sense that each line of clothing would have came out with each album.
Because it's they planned this shit out like years in advance.
I know she did because the album's been done for over like 5 to 7 years the way she explained it. So she planned those albums according to those looks. But when the pandemic hit, Adidas still released it, and she released. So when she broke
That's
that theory
very
down,
interesting.
I was like, if she lying, it do make sense. But that last one is like more of the Run DMC style. It's black leather. She had bucket hats. It was like all types of leather stuff. So the girl said that she may be infusing hip hop
with
rock and roll, like how
Run DMC.
That's
makes
what
sense.
she's. And I was like,
that'd be fire. Actually, that'd actually be really fire. I kind of missed that sound anyway. That'd be fire, like that live instrument but rap at the same time. Yeah, I could see that.
her doing it. But I think again for the Cowboy Carter situation, I think that Beyonce really showed us a different side, and she introduced us to a lot of amazing country singers. Country music isn't what I thought it was, and I would have never thought it or understood it until she did that. So thanks, B.
Thanks, B.
Yep. In other news, my only second piece of news, the planes are falling. And
Mighty God.
I'm not understanding what's going on. My heart goes out to anybody that is a flight attendant that may have had anxiety this week flying, worries about it. It's nothing to play with. I am so sad that you guys can't go to work with possibly thinking, is this my last flight? Am I going to make it back home to my family? But I'm going to be very honest with you. Me and my homeboy Tyrone was talking about it. And when he said it, it kind of makes sense. I kind of feel like y'all attacking. I feel like somebody like y'all under attack and y'all lying, saying stuff has happened. Because you got to really help me understand how y'all was at the airport in DCA, and just so happened this Army plane ran into this commercial aircraft. Because my mom works for the Army,
military,
and by my house there is another military base off of 94. Yes. Their planes are nowhere near DTW.
Facts.
Explain to me how a military plane is the base over. I guess I should do my research. Is the base over there?
I feel like it's so much like to it. But and I hate to say this. I truly do hate to say this. Like, I really don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway, because I'm not really this conspiracy theorist type guy. But at the same time, we're talking about a guy who's in office that will do anything to make himself look grand, to make himself look right. And so the stuff that I'm seeing, like immediately when the first plane, it was kind of like this immediate blame to, oh, well, that's because we're hiring people based off of diversity and inclusion and all this stuff versus these people actually being qualified. And so in a way, it's to like point the finger at somebody else. A part of me feels like certain things may have been set up just to kind of be like, well, see, this is why you need me.
Yeah.
Even if you go back to the TikTok thing, remember TikTok got shut down and it was like, well, hopefully President Trump can X, Y, and Z. Then at first it was like, oh, well, hopefully we'll be back. Then they put President Trump in it. Then when it came back, oh, we want to thank President Trump. You see what I'm saying?
And y'all extended it because y'all could have ended it a long time ago.
And some people are so naive that they will hear something like that and be like, oh, he saved TikTok and he's making sure that we have the right pilots and people who are what's the word I'm looking for? People who are qualified enough to is to kind of give him this glory or give him this shine to make him feel like what he's doing. I would hate to say that this was a setup and that people's lives were just pawns just to make you look better. But I didn't seen. Did you ever see Scandal?
Mm-hmm.
And how the president was a part of that mission before he became president that shot down that plane. But the thing is, the reason they shot it down is because it was somebody on the plane that had some information. I think that our government will sacrifice people at the foot. Will sacrifice people just to get people to believe something or to keep something from the public. Because even when Trump got shot, didn't they say somebody else got shot and ended up dying? We ain't heard nothing else about that family, but he got shot in the ear, and then we ain't heard nothing. I don't even think that was real. A part of me does not feel like that was real, but we will take somebody else's life just to prove a point. That's how much we don't care about the people. So that's how scary that is. I would hope that none of that is true and that this is all just one big coincidence.
Well, I hope so, because that whole Philadelphia plane coming down, the way that came down, that looked like that was an attack.
Like it was shot down.
No, it looked like he purposely came down quick as hell. It wasn't like no glide, like he was trying to land. It just gave this. But it moved so fast. I'm like, was that an airplane? Or was it a missile or something?
I think there's so much that I think that us as a people of the world, not just the United States, that I think that the people who govern these people are starting to truly realize, and thankfully they're realizing this. They're realizing that the people aren't as stupid as they think they are. So they keep trying to do these little things to get people to think one way, and the people are like, nah, we can tell that this is some shit that you done conjured up to get us to, you know, be against each other. Because I saw something online and it was talking about the app Red Note.
I never heard of that.
That's the one that people start getting on when TikTok was about to be banned, and that was the Chinese app that people were getting on, and they were having conversations with people over in China. Because a lot of times we're just having conversations with ourselves. Not often are we able to actually talk to people in other countries and see what are they telling y'all about us, and then we telling them what they telling us about you. And then let's talk to each other about what's really going on. And those conversations are starting to be had. And that's what is going to really mess up a lot of these conspiracies, a lot of these things that they're trying to put in place to keep people separate.
Yeah.
People are finding ways to stay connected, finding ways to communicate, and it's really messing up their plans. So I really don't know what's the future for us. I pray that some stuff just kind of like, all right, fades out, and we kind of go back to, all right, we need to figure out what's best, because right now, you know, Donald Trump does not like anybody to call him out, or he doesn't like to look bad. So when Kamala was talking about how people was walking out of his rallies, that irritated him more than calling him a rapist. That irritated him more because he cares more about his image. So if you say that I don't have the best crowds, well, how could you say that? Because I had this image to uphold. So now I'm going in the White House and I'm making sure, like, make it seem like I'm saving TikTok, that I'm putting the right people in place, because clearly y'all don't have the right pilots or the right type of people in place. So I got to come in and save y'all. He's trying to come in and look like a savior. And some people believe it, but for those of us who aren't dumb, who are very much so aware, our eyes are open, we see the game that you're trying to pull,
and it's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
One of the praise and worship leaders at the church was telling me that she was like, you need to stock up on cans and different stuff like that, because I think China, Mexico, and Canada are sick of him, and they're saying like something's supposed to happen Tuesday, like I guess taxes or stuff are going up. Or
something about a tariff. So this whole tariff thing, because it's kind of hard to explain, but basically, he is implementing tariffs on those countries, which basically trying to charge them for, I guess, importing things or whatever the case is. And so the whole thing is, we're going to lose power because Canada has something to do with our power. And so they're going to shut it off if he decides to implement these tariffs, which I don't know how true that is. I don't know if you can do that. I really don't know. And it's kind of like, I don't know. I think for his sake, he ain't going to want to piss off too many people, because people going to start to retaliate. You can't just put people in these compromising positions. And the thing is, there may be an outage, let's just say, and it may pop back on, and it's gonna be like, because President Trump did X, Y, and Z, just like TikTok. You see what I'm saying? Like, he keeps trying. I don't know how true it is. I choose not to fear.
Yeah.
I choose to stay focused.
For sure, not gonna fear. It just be like
it's too much going on.
You just got in the White House and y'all clowning like this already.
Already, we just hit February.
And then you talking about I'm gonna make sure that I re-implement the DEI thing for this great Black History Month. So what you saying, I feel like is true. Because when I was reading
you see
that
what
post,
I'm saying?
I'm
Like,
nigga,
like it's like we're taking away stuff, and then I'm gonna come in and say just to get
Right.
people to fit.
no, we still don't like you. I
At
mean,
all.
thank you for the acknowledgement, but you are very weird.
Don't know. I'm not thanking you. You don't have to acknowledge me at all. We acknowledge ourselves.
We've been Black. You're
Been
honestly right. It's you with the toupee. It's just a lot.
And Trump getting old. He falling asleep in briefs.
all right.
They
He'll
sit
be
there
gone
talking to
soon.
him, sitting there nodding his head off like this won't last too long. So that's all I'm gonna
He's
say
gonna pop
about
off
that.
and do something real dumb, and they're gonna be like, "Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up." Well, okay, y'all. That's all my news for today. Thank you for tuning into Rev Kev's news.
So this episode is gonna drop around Valentine's Day.
Ooh,
So,
that's next week.
no, it's 2 weeks. Remember this. This
Oh, you
is
scared me. I'm about to
this
say,
is gonna drop next week.
Oh, I do got plans next Saturday. Oh,
Yeah. So Valentine's Day is coming up for us. Those of you who don't know, if you watch my vlog, we're moving. I've talked about it a little bit. So we are moving. We got approved for our place. It's beautiful. It's exactly what we wanted, and I'm
that
so
kitchen
thankful.
is beautiful. I'm going over there to cook some.
I can't wait.
Oh.
I can't wait. I'm so. Elise, my wife, we were talking about how we're no longer going to just accept what's offered to us, but we want what we want, and we're going to get what we want, not what's offered to us. You know what I'm saying? In order to do that, you do have to work on your credit. I know we talked about that like last episode. Well, not the last episode before, about 10 things you should do before you get married. And finances is one of those things because, like when it's time to move, like it was so much, bro, that like we had to go through. Like they needed 3 months of bank statements. They needed verification from our landlord that we lived here. So they needed them to send something or fill something out. They needed this and they needed that. And if your stuff is not in order, bro, like it's difficult for you to get what you want because it's and I'm just so thankful that we're finally in this place. And I mean finally, because we come from families that didn't have the best credit, that didn't have the money, that didn't have the jobs, and the didn't have the necessary things to get what they wanted. We were always kind of given what was offered. You know what I'm saying? So we're finally in this place where we're doing what we want to do, and it just feels so liberating. Yeah. It feels so good. It felt great for her to be like, yeah, you guys are. And I'm looking at the requirements for all the stuff that we needed, and I know if this had been 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago, it would have been like, yeah, we ain't gonna be able to do it because we don't have, you know what I'm saying? But it's finally just good to be like, yeah, we can do what we want. We can have what we want. And that just goes for anybody. And it's not just me trying to stun on anybody. You can have what you want. Do what you need to do, the necessary things to set yourself up. Yeah. You can have whatever it is that you want in this life. But a lot of it is overcoming the mental barriers and the mental chains of, oh, well, we need to stay within this and we don't want to spend too much. And it's just like, bro, that is a poverty mindset. And it's just like that is going out the window. And I'm just so thankful for this new space that I'm in. So it's just newness all around. I'm
like, it's so many approvals. I'm like,
bro, like that's what I'm saying.
God.
Like Chrissy got approved. She's in her place.
Yeah, sleeping.
And then we move in our place at the top of March. So I'm super excited, bro. So we had already started phase 1 of clearing out, in our bedroom, throwing stuff away.
The season gonna end early?
No, I'm trying to finish the season while we're here. So we may have to double up 1 time or 2 times, just so we can finish the season here. And then we'll take a break, and during that time, I'll be setting up the new space because we have a basement now. Hey. So I'm literally like, I plan on setting up the basement as like a content studio. So it's going to be fantastic. So
it's about to be
if you want to send your funds, you can send your funds to the Cash App.
Absolutely.
Because it costs money. But no, I'm really excited about that. And so that's what I mentioned Valentine's Day because we're not doing too much. We never really have been a big Valentine's Day couple. Like, my birthday is in February and our anniversary is in February. So Valentine's Day is like the third important on the list. You see what I'm saying?
A lot of love going on.
Oh, yeah. So instead of really kind of focusing on that, we just focus on my birthday. We focus on our anniversary. Gotcha. And because we're getting ready to move, we're still going to celebrate, but we ain't going to do too much because we want to make sure our funds is in order and do what we need to do because when we move in, you got to get furniture and, we have an extra room. We have a basement. The house is bigger. We're going to need some new stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
how many bedrooms?
What'd you say?
How many bedrooms? Oh. What you thought I said?
I heard bedrooms, but I didn't hear the first word. So it's 3 bedrooms.
So Dallas got a bedroom.
Yep. So Dallas has her own bedroom. We obviously have our bedroom, and then the third bedroom is going to be Lisa's office because right now she's been working in the living room, for work, and then for whatever it is that she's doing creatively and stuff like that. So her having her own space will allow her to truly thrive. I remember when I moved into this room and started setting up the way I wanted. It was like that was really the catalyst to get me going because when you're in your own space and when you have your own creative space, it's something totally different.
Totally.
So I'm excited about that. Valentine's Day, however, is when you're seeing it, it's this week. So I just want to talk about Valentine's Day just a tad, and then we're going to end this episode. Chrissy B, again, is not here. So, when Chrissy B ain't here or if Kev ain't here, the episode's a little shorter than usual, but don't cry. You'll be fine.
Totally fine. Love you, Chrissy.
If Cupid shot the wrong person with an arrow and they fall in love with you, who would be the worst possible match? Don't answer that. I don't even know if that's a good question.
Wait, who would be the worst possible match?
The worst possible match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of people that I just don't like.
I can't say it on here. I'll tell you once we stop.
Oh, my God.
So I'm gonna just go through some of these Valentine's Day questions and we'll see. See if we can answer it, and then y'all can put it in the comments. We like to have a little fun. If you forgot it was Valentine's Day, what's the most ridiculous last minute gift you'd come up with?
I would take them to CVS. Chrissy's gonna be so pissed. I love you, best friend.
Y'all gotta watch. Was that episode like 2 or 3?
2. It had to be like 2 or 3.
Something like that. And
I would go to CVS. You know what? I don't know. Yeah, I would go to CVS. You'll never go wrong with chocolate and flowers.
I feel like that's not a ridiculous gift, but it is kind of a last minute because you can get that anywhere.
Yeah, it's giving like, nigga, you went to the dollar store.
But if you spruce it up, it's all about how you shine it, huh? That's the thought that counts. Praise so you don't have to spend a bunch of money on Valentine's Day. I never have. I never spent a bunch of money on Valentine's Day because I feel like it's fake. Like if I'm gonna spend a bunch of money on you just for this holiday, it's just so you are, so you like, oh, you bought this for me, but it's not. Is it really from the heart? I don't know. These holidays are kind of weird to me when it comes to that stuff.
We buy so much stuff throughout the year.
Yeah,
we just got travel stuff this year.
Like what? So do you go out to dinner for Valentine's Day?
Yeah, but since I'm working so much Valentine's Day weekend, we're going out the week before.
Okay,
that ain't because ain't nobody a side piece. It's just I'm working and we wanted to coincide with that.
Mighty
schedule.
God, like do people like? Yeah, I can't do the 14th. I gotta work, but the 15th, I got you.
Yeah,
some of y'all are side chicks.
If y'all doing that, you weak as hell because that don't. At this point,
some of y'all are side chicks.
You ought to know that shouldn't even come with the benefits of it. Just lay around, play around.
Lay around, play around. Yeah, because you definitely gonna
lay around and play around. Getting tired of the church talking religion.
Oh, I'm like, what is this?
It was you looking at me like, nigga, huh?
I'm trying to see if I got another good one. Romantic or red flag? So your date plans a surprise for Valentine's Day, but won't tell you what it is. You just have to show up. Do you feel like that's romantic, or do you feel like it's a setup for a disaster?
Romantic. What's the word? Romantic.
Some people just may hold off. They just like don't have a plan, and so they just show up and ain't gonna tell you what it is.
I ain't never dated nobody like that. I ain't never dated nobody that just gonna keep lying. I got something special planned. We at White Castle. But White Castle was hidden though because they was doing reservations.
And didn't they have like a crave case for like Valentine's Day or something like that?
Give
Like
me
low
some-
key, and I love White Castle. So
Give me some regular cheeseburgers.
okay, if at least would have came in.
Bismarck,
Okay, because let me tell you something.
our burners. It's gonna be a good night.
A good night, a good gassy night.
Toilet paper,
Um,
man wipes. We gonna be good.
I can't ask that question.
What is it?
It says if you could swap your Valentine's date for a celebrity for just one night, who would it be and why?
Coco Jones.
She is beautiful.
And it's not even for sexual reasons. She looks like a good time to just like chill and relax. And matter of fact, let me be specific about that date. I would say for Coco Jones, it'll be a nice, like somewhere with a nice fireplace, a fur blanket, some good champagne, a charcuterie board, and some good music. And she just looks like her conversation is just like really like cool.
What if she dulled in a mug?
Pissed. Big pissed.
Let's see what else we got
Pissy
here.
diaper. Who else would I don't know. K. Michelle.
Okay, Michelle.
I love Kimberly. I know a Valentine's Day spent with K. Michelle would be so lit. First of all, we playing all of your records because I love K. Michelle's music. She gonna have some good weed. She gonna have some edibles. Not that I'm telling y'all about, but K. Michelle.
If you made it to this point of the episode,
yeah, she's gonna be a
you're
good
real
time. Yeah, K. Michelle's gonna be a good time. But other than that, I don't know. The rest of y'all look boring. Y'all just doing it for the ground.
Cheesy pickup lines.
Did it hurt when you fell from heaven?
I hope that's not on this damn list.
If it is, that's good.
Do you have a name or can I call you mine?
That's kind of cute.
That's low key kind of fire. Because it's short, sweet, straight to the point. Like, do you have a name or can I call you mine? Like,
She's like, stop it. Okay.
or she may be like, ugh, nigga, get on my face. They always say, like, what's the worst thing a woman can say? What's the worst thing she could say? No? She could definitely say worse than that. She can be like, ugh, hell no, nigga, get on my face. I would probably commit suicide. Why would you have to go that far as to tell me no when you could have just said no?
And you know she lying when she say, I'm gay. That's it for me. I'm like, all right, good night.
Are you a magician? Because whenever I look at you, everyone else disappears. How do you feel about that? It's lame.
I'm so white.
It is kind of white.
I don't want to offend our white audience, but that's something y'all would say.
Do you believe in love at first sight or should I walk by again?
That's kind of funny. They gave like Jim Carrey.
Are you a parking ticket because you've got fine written? Yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah, they're starting to get worse. Are you an electrician because you're lighting up my life? What? Are you a campfire because you're hot and I want some more?
I was on a s'more.
Yes, nigga.
It's been a great episode.
It's been an interesting episode. If you were a fruit, you'd be a fine apple. What? All right, yep. Guys, make sure you get your tickets for the live show.
Please get them.
Get your tickets. Y'all pray for Chrissy B. Not that she's like down bad. She's actually feeling a little better. We want to call her real quick. We're gonna call her real quick before we end this episode. Make sure you get your tickets though. That live show is going to smack. Okay, and we finally get a chance to like be with y'all in person. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so weird digitally and people be commenting and all that stuff, but to see y'all in person and have these conversations, I'm really excited about it. So get your tickets.
Ain't that much sleep in the world. Don't piss me off.
Not you called her back because her phone probably gonna do not disturb.
Wake up. You shouldn't have company. You're sick.
Because I was about to say, I know ain't nobody over there.
Okay, well,
that's that. Tried to get Chrissy B on the episode. She didn't want to be a part of the episode, so that's fine. But y'all know we had to kind of just pivot. This is a really good conversation just because, just especially as it relates to the artistry.
Yeah.
I think that those check-ins are necessary because we both are really just we betting on ourselves.
That's all we got.
Literally.
I mean, it's a great place to be, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I ain't depending on nobody else at this point.
And right now is the best time to do it. Like 30 years ago, it was so difficult to be an independent artist. You literally, like, you had to go to the studio and spend all this money. There was no internet and all of that stuff. Now, like, you literally can just, like, record yourself on your phone, sing something, upload it, and it could possibly go viral and change your life.
Money long. And you can touch your audience quicker.
Absolutely.
That's a whole nother.
And I want to talk about
aspect.
that in a future episode, just about how things have changed, because the way that we approach just a lot of stuff is not the same anymore. The life that they were preparing us for growing up isn't really what life is anymore. Like, everything is different.
They had no foresight. I don't know what they was looking at or what y'all was planning.
And if you don't have no foresight about the future, you'll get stuck in whatever.
Well, y'all should have been teaching us about the credit and the stuff now. When I have kids,
I'm telling you, I
I'm not
can't wait to
playing
have
now.
these conversations with Dallas about credit and about just everything. Yeah. So get all the information you can now, so when you have kids, you can tell them the right stuff.
Yep.
All right. So we're going to end this episode. Thank y'all again for watching. We love y'all.
Yeah.
It's been another great episode of the Dream Lab podcast. And that's it. Kevin and his bag of nuts.
Bye, y'all.